Yep. Canada on the top right, 50 cal Blizzy in the bottom right hand corner. You can see kind of the rest of the drop spot on the map. Seems to be a solid number of people. And 5 cal Blizzy said, I don't need a 50 cal, I don't need a Blizzy, I don't need a Glizzy. All I need is my pickaxe and a race. You don't even need the gun drop him. He just says, I'm gonna hard commit and pray you don't pull something quickly. And right now, he just wants to wait. Like I said, he wanted to be patient. He doesn't want to give him a big charge shot because if you end up eating one of those back, it can turn a fight right here. He has plenty of utility, but he doesn't want to burn through it. He's already forced Blur to burn through his, so he just needs to chip away at the damage. But if he takes any more right now, he's going to get caught. And you can tell he ideally doesn't want to pop these if he doesn't have to. He wants to try and get the siphon first and then reset, but he's not really going to get a choice.
Better safe than sorry, I think, says Canada, as they're both actually going to heal up. So they both pay each other a little bit of respect in this fight. Despite Blur Juice having the advantage, he could have W-keyed him, could have played a lot more aggressive. He's going to let him heal up. As we're now on board with Trap killed in a little bit of fight of his own. Canada will keep an eye at the top left of our screen to see if he gets taken out. As he's in 100th place, he's right in that fringe for qualifying, so that'll be crucial. Trap kill getting a good shot in. One more shot will do the trick on one hit wonder. Well, one hit just needs only one to get taken out right now.
Can one hit wonder be a one hit wonder and find the one hit he needs? Nope, instead going to get taken down. Trapkill, who had a really solid performance yesterday, was consistently pretty much in the top 5, top 10 the entire time during his heat. So Ruthless will have a little bit of an HP advantage here if he can get off the big shield, but might look to try and find the siphon instead. Both of these players doing a really good job of just keeping the one piece in between them as they're both on charged shotguns. Neither of them are going to be able to find those super quick reaction shots unless the opponent gives it to them. Tough eating one right there, but it's tough.
Tough for tough, as we got ourselves a little bit of a battle here. Back to even, back to neutral in this fight between these two. And of course, now that we're in the mid game, it is going to be a tough situation. You got to survive here, but Tough is going to get the upper hand. He picks up Ruthless in the elimination. Nice job, nice pick. As we also did just get an update, Arkham is in 411th place, courtesy of Hello Kelly Link herself. Thank you for the intel. But crazy right now for Arkham. He's going to have to step it up in the second half.
So we hop on board with TQ Alawar, trying to find some shots here. He has plenty of utility as well. Posey on the other side of him, trying to find some shots. The tack shots on both sides of this, so Pose is in a tough spot. Finds 2 big shots now, though, to back Alex back down to 32. Crashpad comes out in a little bit of a disengage here.
Yeah, he's used the chug splashes, which, you know, I think he could have gotten those minis off first. Not that would have made too much of a difference there, but now he's up in this close fight against Pose. He does have his shield back, and now he actually has the advantage, but not going to matter. It's going to be the aggressor who gets the elimination. That's a big one from Pose. And that's, by the way, his second elimination. He has a med kit, and he's going to pick up some mini shields as well. Big elims coming through from Poses.
Just hosing right now. The CMMXR just letting the bullets sing right now. And honestly, very impressed by the versatility he's showing in terms of the approach. Just making sure he gets the shots, keeping the charge shotgun towards the pressure, and then the crash pad right away to maintain. However, he's going to need to resolve this. He doesn't want to necessarily burn too much utility trying to get this, and boom. That was the key crash pad, making sure he was on the building grid line to phase himself in, and he finds it tons of excess shield, plenty of mats right now, so he just needs to pick and choose what he wants to use, and then take the rest with him. Mid-game, or like really valuable end-game utility to just kind of survive some circumstances that they put themselves into. So I think a little bit of a lack of discipline coming from these guys right now. Sakai gets some good shots here onto Snake and is going to end up wrapping that one up on the side. So gets a nice little refresher and will come out the benefactor of that. But I don't think either of those players played that fight well.
Yeah, they did have to use a lot of their resources overall to win that fight. But in the words of my friend Monster D-Face, if you don't use it, you do lose it. So you're better off to use some of that utility. A lot of shield in his inventory, not a lot of heals in his inventory, and he's on his back foot. This is looking bleak for Blake.
Yep, 83 effective HP right now with only 10 of those being whites. And you can see this 5G Cesare on his wall the entire time. Really good pressure coming out from him, not really giving him the space with Blake. Trying to get a little bit of real estate himself. You can see he wants to disengage this fight, but the other player was aware of that and finds a huge hunting rifle shot right there, picking it up. Didn't matter if it was a body or a headshot. Think it came through with the headshot based off of the sound, but either way.
Oxif was really one shot away from having the upper hand in this fight.
Yeah, and you see Crash Pads coming in now, trying to get the box entry. He needs to be careful, though. Tack Shotgun against Charge. The Charge, if it gets that first primary shot, he's just going to lose it. He has to find an angle where he can close the gap, and that's what we talked about. The first Charge shot ends up going through him. A great 81 tag through the phased stare, but the Charge shot being the difference there. Uxit ends up outlasting him by just 24 HP. However, plenty of utility to get himself back in as we pop on board here with Voyle, who's chilling out in the storm, and Danny Phantom able to pick up on the hunt right now. You can tell he desperately needs his refresh, only has 35 builds total. And you can see he has a nice little peanut butter edit going on in front of him, so he can kind of hit this wall and not worry about the third parties that are happening on the other side. And you can see Yuz finally being forced to take action, recognizing he has to defend himself from this, but Voyle is going to get the much needed refresh. And even then, it's not a ton of mats. He tells him to take that L, but Voyle, you got to be careful here, man. There's a number of players nearby, and you could get caught in a tough spot.
That's exactly right. Listen, I think that was a warrant to take the L dance personally. Reason being, yeah, more 50 cal representation as we're seeing here. We know Blizzy got taken out earlier in this exact lobby. Is Vox right now on board with him? 2 floppers, 2 crash pads, some minis, pretty solid in terms of endgame loop. And needs to be careful though against Flois. He is going to have the upper hand in ping. Flois is, that's why Flois is using that SMG most likely, trying to get a little spray and pray action as Flois now in a pretty rough spot between a rock and a hard place. He's going to be tagged up, going to be pressured. Sometimes you become the chosen one. Will this be a situation where Flois gets chosen and gets lasered? It looks like he will survive.
Yeah, and right now, just keeping an eye on where that 100th place mark, because the top 100 players will move on to the grand final tomorrow as Flois. It does get picked up there by Voss when there's a little confirmation there.
Question mark. J Rose's Alithy need to perform when it matters the most, as we just saw J Roses performed yesterday.
Yeah, and Alithy now trying to find some shots there. You see Backety just above him on the side. He's trying to find an angle to potentially pick up some eliminations. We talked about being just off of the pace right now, but with the number of placement points that are available in this match, a good game here and pushing yourself into the top 10 will keep it close as J Roches finds some shots on the Positive, got some white tags, knew he got the shield break. That's the second set of white tags there. He does have the 4 floppers, so he's deciding to stay in the storm to eat the siphon, knowing he has the potential pool of white HP via the fish. You can see now, like, tons of chug splashes and the crash pads could be indicative of a late high ground push play. Right now, we do see that 6, the start of the full moving zones. It's pulling and it's going back over towards Lazy Lake. So that means a lot of natural buildings and not as much change in terrain. As Slick picks up a nice elim there. 46 players remaining, so lots of placement points to still earn. Every player who goes down will be an additional placement point. And then third, second, and first have a nice little bump because, you know, you deserve it for some top 3 going on. And right now, J Roses, here we are on the side as the rotation start.
Look how low he is in shotgun ammo. 6 shots has to make them count. But of course, still has that AR to kind of circle back on. 4 floppers to his name and 6 crash pads. So a very good late game loadout for J Roses, and he's going to start to jump right on the box of an opponent here. Let's see if he decides to take this fight. J Roses and Acorn in picture as it looks like they are also nearby. Acorn right above J Roses as it currently stands. There you go. That's going to be a big elimination for Jay. Also helps with the siphon, and he kind of wants that loot. He's actually going to play for aggression to look like with that loot. So now Jay's going to enter himself into a fight. And of course, that's, I think that was towards Storm. That was away from Storm. So he sacrificed a lot there to get that loot.
Yeah, now Acorn, another player we talked about utilizing that pistol. We saw him pick up an elimination right along J Roses. They're going to set up a short pad. Gets the Storm Elam on the spoof as well into a box right away. Great reaction charge shot. Finds the first break, and that's J Roses, who he was able to find with the shot. J Roses has absolutely no shields here, so good pressure coming out from Acorn, using the harpoon to try and close the gap. Jay did a good job of creating space, but he has no extra shield. J Roses still in the top right now, looking for siphons on the side as Acorn is just going to disengage away from the side. Jay's in the top right. You have Acorn in your bottom right-hand corner. Macon on the wide on the left is in the top. Storm Surge turns on for a second and immediately turns back off as Acorn finds yet another pick with the pistol. So 3 quick eliminations coming out from Acorn.
If you look up Clutch on YouTube, you're going to see this clip of J Roses, because right now with no shield to his name, somehow gets tagged up by Acorn and somehow still survives as Acorn is going to get an elimination elsewhere. But some way, somehow, with no shield in his inventory, not a whole lot of ammo, J Roses is still alive, still in this one, still fighting for his chance to make it to the late game here and just gaining placement point after placement point. Acorn popping off with 4 limbs himself. J Roses trying to get the limb by AR.
149 now for J Roses. We talked about the available placement points and being able to push up towards the top 100. All these players doing a good job. Back on board with Acorn here as he picks up number 5 from the charge shotgun harpoon combo. Great job getting the wall and the ramp in the way. Great ramp flip into a 1 43. Sia and Muffin, see you later. The Muffin Man doesn't live on Drury Lane. He's back in the lobby as Acorn continues pushing forward. Jay Rose in the top right falls into a box and he goes down. Acorn's reign ends at 6 eliminations, but inside the top 15. Epic Fab also still up there, but Macon has been uncontested on the high ground, now just single tarping his way out as we have our top 10. Jay Roses pops the crash pad and continues to move on to the side of the zone. Has the floppers, but needs to be careful. He's in the zone. Will he get it? He does. Just the 1 HP flopper at the end. Now he's down to whatever he can get. It's one build in a dream, and the dream is an elim right there. Top 7 and a great refresher to give him 26 builds to work with now.
You gotta be kidding me. How is he still alive? This is one of the most clutch performances we have seen. He hasn't had shield in 5 minutes, Sundown, and he is continuing to perform. Jay Rose's only 4 builds left. That's it for builds, only 1. Gonna get some shields finally. Gonna have 100 total HP. Can he get another elimination? Yes, he does. Gets the siphon, and that is finally gonna be the end of Jay Rose's, but a valiant effort is now. We are on board with Mockin currently with high ground and the Shockwave launcher. This has to be his game, Sundown.
He's just been uncontested, hanging out on the board. Still has 32 plus builds with Taiwa in the top right, making in your bottom right-hand corner. You have Bakity, Adios, Asian Feeds still left as well. You can see, wait for the server to catch up a little bit, Macon still just raining shots from above. With that epic burst, they are trying to find something. Taiwa wants to find an angle. It's going to come down to what happens on the in-between as Bakity is trying to find some room here, but nobody's really making a move as now the Shockwave launcher is going to force Asian Feeds back out into the zone. Taiwa trying to find an engagement there. He gets taken down as Bakity ends up dropping down from above, but Macon is the one who ends up finally finishing it out. It should just be Bacon to close this out from top down.
You have 145 points. That's going to be one player left. Adios, Asian Feeds. Says adios to this lobby, and guess what? Bakany's gonna be right after as Macon has the health advantage, has a Shockwave launcher, and just about has this game. Let's see if he can close it out. Doesn't even need to. It's gonna be Bakany by storm elimination
as well. So let's look at the top 20 right now, see how our players are stacked up against each other. And it is none other than Ladies Man himself in first place with Baka in second. And look at that, Turtle Tavern finally making a comeback. We haven't seen him in the top 20 yet, but now Epic Whale follows closely behind in fourth.